Love, light, greetings, gratitude, blessings and blessings, Ascension star seeds. Welcome, my divinity, to yours. Thank you for all your love and light, your support, your appreciation, participation. Thank you for your hearted comments. Importantly, significantly, collectively, we unite in light. Together forever, working, weaving, shifting, uplifting people and planet into a cared, shared consciousness of ascension. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Heartedly, soulfully, unitedly in prayer for peace on earth, Spirit of light, Mother and Father of all that is, immaculate and articulate, supreme and sovereign, feminine, masculine, divine, a unified shrine. We invite, invoke, and welcome your energy, your essence and presence, to connect and protect myself, our ascension portal, and our star family. We meet and greet in your divine embrace, in your celestial seat, with a united vision, intention for the creation of heaven and earth, for the love, the peace, the ease, the prosperity, the victory, the light, the bright, the beauty and bounty, the purity and divinity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A message for our family listening spirit, and we have success. I grow and thrive in the universe. I discover the purity of my heart and the higher wisdom that guides me towards victory. I direct my thoughts towards clarity and nurture wisdom, love, and goodness within me. I am free now, and I succeed in my life. So many keywords that I've already used in prayer. Know that whatever your heart and soul unites in, you will always be successful, victorious, prosperous, unconditional. Thank you. Today is the 20th, 10/2024. We've got two 20s that play out. 20 is the Judgment card in the Major Arcana as a date, and of course as the prefix to the 2024. So it's a double judgment, a awakening, or a justification of some kind of circumstance in your life as a personal or a collective or individual or communal, familial even. But having reduced the entire vibration, it becomes an 11, which is the master number. That 11 stands out as a symbol or sigil for justice, as well as the High Priestess. Reducing that becomes the 2 of the High Priestess. Right, 11 is a justice card in the Major Arcana, so very much a judgment, justice energy. 2 being High Priestess, secrets, wisdom, things that are not out in the open or that have been placed in an energy of dormancy until a readiness or an availability or an awakening has taken place to be able to retrieve that information or truth. So that is the collective vibration of today. In the comments, I was asked to read on a specific individual, and his name is Liam Payne. I have never heard his name before. I did not know who he was. So I had to do a little bit of background work. Just a few sentences, in fact. I don't need any other information. But what I learned is that he is an English singer-songwriter, a member of a pop group called One Direction. And he's born in Wolverhampton, United Kingdom, on 29th of August 1993, and he's 31. And what happened is a tragedy. Apparently he passed on the 16th of October, which was a few days ago, from a fall from his hotel room, and I believe that was in Argentina. A fall from his balcony, which was, I think, 3 floors above. And the cause of death was suicide, or let's just use it as an S word, right, was the S. And I had a funny feeling. I didn't feel good about it. I thought about it for a bit, and I thought, how weird. You know, so many incidences in life of recent years where a lot of renowned people have had very similar fate or destinies of that particular type of execution or exit. If it's not that, it is in the bathtub, intoxicated and having drowned. So we can join in prayer to say to his soul, his higher self, his spirit, to be in peace, because that is just an ugly way to go out, to incur such pain. Although I do not feel in my beingness that was the actual truth, but we will find out. All right, so Divine Spirit, we want to ask about this particular individual, that there's been a request for a reading on him, Liam Payne. If his spirit would like to be here, then of course we welcome his energy. All right, so I was not paying attention to the candle flame, which I can see is very agitated at this time. I'm not sure if it started off that way when we switched on, but I know when I lit it, I did not see it like that. But now with my eyes opened, well, there we go. It is showing me that it was not like that from the beginning. So something is untoward. There is his spirit is agitated. His spirit is unrested. At the bottom of this deck is the Devil card, the Queen of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles. So straight away you can see there's some kind of an act of a decision, wow, this in reverse, to make a decision of execution, right, or ending. Ten of Pentacles, this is a very big system that he was part of, or perhaps involved with to some extent. not necessarily in a negative way, but there's something bigger involved here, and it's a very famous, recognized, and wealthy part of this, the behind the scenes. In this particular deck, you've got the happiness here, but somebody sitting outside of the happiness with just a little bit. So maybe a deal went wrong or misunderstanding, and something did not go down the right way from that. Page of Pentacles, behind the curtains, watching somebody, observing somebody, waiting for darkness to set in, or a quiet time in which to act on a particular calling as a compromise that could involve a gain for one and a loss for another. Let's do one more. 10 of Swords. Right, that is a typical ending. What's so interesting is this looks very raised, like a balcony or outside some kind of tall building on a launch pad or helicopter pad where you see the buildings. So this is higher up. So it could be possible that this individual was put out, if allegedly, right, we're getting into it, but we're seeing a picture here, possibly unalived prior to the fall, because it's showing us that yes, the landing has happened, but the whole play could have happened prior to the landing, meaning the breath was stopped prior to the landing on the ground, on the official ground he was in, where he was in the room, and then made to look like that. 2 of Swords. Yes, that was definitely a decision that they had made or was taken, in which to hold him in that position, isolate him, and obviously do all of that, and then let him go. And I see peeking out is the 9 of Swords. So perhaps he knew of something, he was mentally tortured, had undergone a lot of torment, possibly prior to this particular incident. Maybe something was troubling him for a while. Lots of Swords energy showing up. Right, so we want to know, can you show us a little bit of what was leading up to this event? What was leading up to this particular death that occurred? Liam's energy, what was he thinking and feeling? Is there anything he wants to tell us through the cards, please? Wow, look at all of this. All right, so we're taking all of this because it fell out in a pack. Right, we have the Magician, foul play. We have Judgment, the vibration of today, confirming that there was a judgment put on him. Justice, he calls for justice. 6 of Swords, right? He moved, he took a flight, he was somewhere else in another country or another location in which this had taken place. So it is all sort of premeditated, that if he gets to a certain destination or out of the destination of where he would be around people, then yes, there's the swift action of what had taken place. right? You don't see anybody around. So this was not an accident or an S. Accident meaning maybe he was intoxicated, he was leaning over, slipped and fell. That's what I mean by accident of one's making. It was not intentional, self-inflicted, so it wasn't the S. It clearly was something else. Right. What else does he want to tell us? It was a group effort, right? He was not alone with one person. There were more people there, possibly 3 people, 2 or more people. Right, standing on a building or standing at height and obviously making such an impact to have that action taken, that decision made in which to take that, take him out. So look at that, right? Isolating somebody with a cause of action, premeditated. Let's get with him at the top of that building and let's get him over that. Right, you can see same scenery, snow, ice, cold, death. Yes, and they pushed the agenda forward. So very much a decision that went down that particular way. So anything else from this deck? I do have another deck out. It seems like he's so clearly giving us the message here that the second deck I have out was to clarify or gain a little bit more information, but he seems to have given it to us up front that yes, it was an agenda. Anything else from here? Seven of Swords, Nine of Swords, deception, right? Whatever's being put out there is deceit. It is not true, clearly showing us that he was a target. Right, he was a target. And yes, he was definitely put through a little bit of torture or torment prior to that, right? Before being put to sleep. And then, of course, it was a matter of time that he was out, and then it was done. So I will keep those 3 as part of the confirmation. What's interesting is I picked this deck to do clarification, and in the shuffle intended for it to be a clarification deck, and these 2 cards had popped out. I won't be clarifying anything because we have now got the Justice card and the Six of Swords, and both of these cards are already here. Interesting, the Justice and the Six of Swords next to each other, and they are both here together and in the same order, Justice and Six of Swords. So it's validation, allegedly from the cards, from his spirit, that this was untoward. It was a battle that someone had to win, and justice needs to be done. He calls for justice, a double justice. It's like people shouldn't keep quiet. They need to keep asking. Do not believe everything, because there was dark magic at play. Right, and then from this particular deck, I thought let's get the final in the closing to close the reading. I shuffled, and this particular card had jumped out of the deck and went across the table. And when I picked it up, it says trash, discarding, throwing out. Right, so after all of that was done, he was discarded and thrown out. Or we could say thrown off. So that is one of the cards that will stay behind. Anything else, Spirit? Right, so what fell out is focused eyes for you, fascinated, watching. So he was being watched. Behind that was journal, writing, diary, keeping notes. So this was premeditated. They were documenting, strategizing, plotting, making notes to keep that eye on him. And of course, he was possibly a threat to somebody, or they were threatened by him, and at the same time he started feeling threatened. It's as if he knew, possibly knew what was happening. Right, so I just want to determine if he was aware that this was, yes, this fell out, tragedy. Right, so his passing is a tragedy. Was he aware that such a thing was happening? Did he have any feelings about it? Did he get a message? Was he alerted in some way? Or was this just sudden? Right, so the meeting card, two more people, discussion, planning. So this was definitely premeditated, pre-planned. He was trapped by this, so possibly it happened unexpectedly, suddenly, and it was too late for him. Closed in, trapped. And with Archangel Michael behind that, he must have been begging or pleading for help, and there was no way out. Anything else, Spirit? Right, so we have roller coaster, highest high, adrenaline rush. I'm not sure why he was there. Was he on business? Was he on vacation? But definitely they had to get him at this time where he was possibly in a high-rise building, so it could be made out to be the S. Roller coaster is showing us height, speed. This was a rush. This possibly happened very quickly, where they closed in on him, following him, watching him. His every move. He's to be isolated, to be alone. All right, so I think we can leave it here. It's very sad how these things happen, but of course, all right, so I also had another deck out, and the card that jumped was the Lost City. Right? Something big is lost. Sadness, grief. This card has come out with this particular card very often when we've been calling souls in and spirits in. Right? Whispers of a ghost. So he's definitely an unsettled energy right now. It's very soon of his passing anyway that we should be connecting with him. Ideally, we leave the spirit, the soul, to make the crossing and to have the healing from such a tragedy. So we pray for his soul, his spirit, to be healed, to be recalibrated and reintegrated, and to be filled with love and peace. And we ask him to work with all the truthers to bring the justice that is needed, to bring down this city that is so lost in the dark, that creates the loss and brings life into ghost, into sadness, into emptiness, into ruin. Beautiful ones, if you are his fans, I pray for your love and your peace. It would not do any good to feel anger at this time. It is of great benefit if you can work with light to bring the justice in. If your energy is invested in anger, as much as we all are, for what takes place is unrighteous, it's unethical, it is evil, it's a cult, it's sacrifice. And what was interesting is the 16th of October was the day before the full moon, the super full moon, which is the hunter's moon, also called the blood moon. So this was definitely a sacrifice of some kind for whatever was put out on him as a target for others to benefit. With that, I do love you. I thank you. Be blessed till next.